Happy New Year, Leo. Aren't you happy to be out of 2020? What a year it has been for all of us and for so many of you, especially when I see or look into what has to do with your day-to-day routine and your work. In that sense, might have just really built up a lot of pressure for you. And we can see that by the area here of the 6th house where all that activity was going on. Jupiter and Saturn. Definitely they're also kind of like wanting to expand, wanting to break free from all those restrictions that Saturn held. And a lot of you did. You know, the upside of that, some of you, maybe quite a few of you, found out that you can now start working from home. And I feel that could be one of the greatest transitions of what it's brought to you, but not for everybody, but for quite a few. I think Jupiter could be quite generous. But listen, now that we're out of that pressure cooker, you got this to look forward to, because that Jupiter and Saturn that was there with Pluto, really putting you in that pressure cooker. Jupiter and Saturn starting off top of the year is now just moved into the 7th house. This area which rules your relationships. So be ready for it. For those of you who are single, there is expansion and there's joy and happiness. Think about Jupiter. It's the biggest planet out there, and that is what it's going to do. It's going to supersize this area for you. For those of you already in a relationship, well, expect now, after 2020, that things are going to start improving, growing, going places, you know, where you can really feel that it has been worthwhile going through the difficulties where you were purging, looking at what worked, what didn't work, and trying to weed those things out, leaving you now with a feeling of optimism and enthusiasm. Now, where Jupiter loves to expand, Saturn is the opposite. It kind of contracts. It wants to secure it. It holds everything that's worthwhile inside of its rings, right? Meaning that you will find that you or your partner, because it goes both ways, will want to secure you, or you want to secure them. Hang on to what you now have worked so hard for to get through, right? But the joy of that Jupiter is that happy-go-lucky energy, which is very optimistic, it's positive, new outlooks, new horizons, all of those things that only you totally can come to appreciate. You know, it rules the fire sign of Sagittarius, which is your sister sign. So you are all, you know, in this field of now wanting to what? To explore. And why do I say that? Why do I use the word explore your relationship? Well, it's in the sign of Aquarius. Aquarius is very non-traditional, unconventional. It wants to do the wild things that it's never done before. So don't be surprised if you're finding that you are looking at new aspects of your relationship. You know, or that your partner, because this rules both of you, that your partner might want to explore new territory so that you can grow those horizons. This is what Jupiter is wanting to do. And you may do so, but you may also use a little caution there. Saturn is giving you that sense of grounding, that you're feeling safe, and if it is safe, you might just keep incrementing it more and more. So, you know, have fun with that. We are here to explore our potential, right? Those of you in a relationship, long-term relationship, this is rejuvenating. For those of you Leos that have been single for a while, you won't be. Trust me. This is going to open up doors, and you will find a partner that signifies these qualities, which will bring it out in you, right? So the next thing I do want to focus on, which I always do on the top of the year for the full year, is Mars. Why? Because Mars is our drive. You know, it is that gives us dedication and discipline to move ahead with the things, the goals that are important to us. I mean, that's what drives us each and every day when we get out of bed. Now, Mars has been very slow in 2020. It took 6 months for it to move through this area of your chart, the 9th house. For a reason, though. And as frustrating as it is when such a dynamic planet retrogrades, because when the energy isn't moving, where does it go? It internalizes. So a lot of you have felt like a little stuffed with the slowness. Maybe you have felt very antsy. Ultimately, though, because that it was lasting for 6 months, not 6 weeks, it slowed you down enough to focus on this specific area of your chart, which is the 9th house right up here. And that is the area of research. Some of you really started to dive deep into research. Of what, though? Well, it could be preparation for maybe moving in a new career direction, which you're going to see is going to take place now, here in January. However, though, the 9th house is also higher education. Some of you might have gone back to school or chosen to take, an extra subject, or diving into your own personal research. This 9th house is all about higher education, but it's also where spirit grows. Maybe some of you have been asking, the right questions. Why am I here? What's the purpose of this? And, when we turn those questions and that research inwards, we will always find the answers, because we're asking those questions to the higher mind, and the higher mind will guide you by intuition, right, with synchronicity, to go find those things that will provide the answer. Some of you have been taking courses. Good for you, especially if it has to do with your own personal spiritual growth, because that's something that you're going to bring with you into your future. However, though, let's take a look at Mars. It starts off top of the year, 27 degrees here in the 9th house. So by January 7th, you are all now duped for career changes. All the energy is going to be here for you to actually explore from January 7th to March 5th. Okay? And when it touches upon Uranus, transits, moves beyond here, that's when a surprise, the wow factor can set in and give you something that you might not have expected or anticipated, or maybe you did, and then finally here comes that arrival. Uranus always changes up the game. Okay, so you will see that there might be a new opportunity, or you're maybe starting a new job. Maybe you're starting a totally new career, your own business, whatever the deal is for you individually. I can't see that from here. But when they merge together, it's going to oomph up that drive, that energy of Mars. It's going to kick you into action. And throughout the journey of Mars, for the rest of the year, it will carry that signature of Uranus alongside with it, where you're opening your mind to this energy of Uranus in the career field, mind you. So until March 5th, you have this opportunity to grow, expand, do what you've come to do, what you're ready to do, what you have researched. And then from March 5th to April 24th, it is going to focus on your social network, your tribe. How is Mars really going to up this energy? Well, it's also your circle of friends. Maybe you haven't had all that time due to COVID and whatnot to enact with your friends, so you'll catch up with that. But it's that social network where you're looking at, how can I make this work for me, right? Mars is focusing now. Is there doors I can open up, right? Especially now since it had that Uranian energy in your career house, you might think, can I work from home? Can I open up a new website? Is there ways that I could extend what it is I'm already doing? Whatever that is for you individually, this is going to be a very focused time where Mars is going to direct you. Then it's going to want to take a little step back when Mars moves into your 12th house, right? It wants to rest up a little bit. I mean, it takes 2 years for Mars to go around the chart once. You had this whole long hold up, the 6 months here, where it was stressful, right? Frustrating and all that. So once you come to this area where Mars moves into Cancer, April 24th, you will be working more so behind the scenes, meaning internally, spiritually, creatively. And you might be a little hush-hush with what it is you're doing. It is the area of secrets as well. That doesn't mean you're doing anything wrong. It just means you're being a little bit quiet with what you're doing. And it will be here until June 11th. So your physical energy may not be on the top, right? That's okay to kind of veg for a little bit, because what Mars is doing, it's finalizing a 2-year trip from when it went across your ascendants back then. And you went on a 2-year run. It's finalizing, so we're often tired at the end of that journey. But then do rest up, because as it crosses into Leo, which will be June 11th, you're coming back out to the world with new energy, all pumped up for the next 2 years round. And people will see now what you're all about. Okay, so whatever has been working behind the scenes will now be visual. Right? And then, of course, the first house is all about you. It's your energy. It's the I am consciousness. What do I want? What do I desire? Where do I want to fit in and make a difference? Mars is going to be all about you. So it's a little bit of a narcissistic month, but that's good as long as we contain it right in this area and don't drag that along with us. But the focus is on self, and we all do need that for a little space of time so that we can realign ourselves with our needs and desires so we don't get lost just on serving everybody else. We have to make room for ourselves too. This is good. You will, by the time Mars moves into Virgo, let me just see when that will be, July 30th. So from June 11th to July 30th, it's about resting up. And then when we come into the second house of Virgo, July 30th to September 16th, money, 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 ka-ching, ka-ching. Mars is going to focus on your income. This is a great time, Leo, to ask for a raise or to up your fees. If you are a consultant, you get my drift, right? It's money coming in, how you can generate it. And I really see how your mind is working on it, because being in the sign of Virgo, there's no details that slip out. Virgo is very point specific, very much so perfectionist when it comes to money. So when Mars is here right now, you're going to get all those ducks in a row. So money will be coming in, good cash flow, but also be aware that money can also go out, right? Mars will want to spend and splurge. So there's both that. But I think, there might have been a few things that you've earmarked, so you will love this month for you. This should be really, really good. As you finalize that journey, moving into your third house of communication, Leo, this is a time where you're going to be expressing yourself. Communication is going to be very vital. It's what you communicate. It's how you communicate. How are you presenting that outwards? This will be from September 16th straight through October 31st. This is the best time of the year to get the message out there, whatever it is. For example, if you are an author, this would be the time to get published, get out there. If you're opening up a new blog, something online, whatever, this would be the time to launch it, because you will be seen and heard. All that communication will be received by your public, right? But it's also time to dedicate to your closer community, which is your neighbors, also siblings come in under this area right here. And it's about balance. It's about harmony. It's about beauty. All those things that Libra rules, okay? Because they're passing through the sign of Libra with Mars. Coming up to, October 31st to December. No, let me see. October 31st to December 14th. Exactly. Then Mars is going to focus on your home area. Home as in the physical home that you live in, but it's also the home within. It's the foundation, who you are on the inside. It's really wanting to catch up with those deeper needs, desires, security. It rules family, and projects. If the physical energy is going to be in the home, where's it going to go? Well, maybe it's time. Clean out the garage, the basement, the loft, all of those things, or closets. Boom, 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 boom. Or towards the end of the year, is to prepare for that. Every 2 years, we do have a vast cleanup of our space. Not saying we're not doing it throughout the year, but the focus isn't there. It's different. Wherever Mars is, that is where our focus and the energy behind it to see it through will be. So we're ending up the year of Mars's movement, December 14th, throughout the end of the year. It's going to end up in this joyful area, which is the 5th house, which is all about leisure, happiness, doing the things that we love to do when we take a little time off, our hobbies and so forth. It is the creative area of self-expression, okay? Also, it rules love and romance, not necessarily, the long haul, which is more like the 7th house of relationships and marriage and one-on-one, but it's that romantic fun time. And also it rules the area of children too. So more time being spent from December 14th throughout the rest of the year, 2 weeks. There's a lot of holidays for a lot of people. So definitely this can be a great time to embrace that romantic or the interaction with the children, the grandchildren, and so forth. So enjoy that. But you're definitely going to start up 2022 with Mars in this area. That means for you, of all the zodiac, Leo, that you're going to start off New Year 2022 with a bang, with joy, with just wanting to have a great time. But more on that later. All right. So let's now take a look at what else is going to be super important for you here in 2021. We talked about the changes. You've already undergone some changes in your career with Uranus there. It's 6 degrees currently. So for all of you very early Leos, you have already, those born in that first week, have already gone through a lot of change. Upheaval maybe in your company and, where do I go from here? That kind of thing. Go with the flow. And the message for all of you, because I know that you like security, that's super important for you when it comes to work. Having Taurus in the 10th house for career, it's all about wanting, needing that security. But the message for you, and that goes for all of you, doesn't matter which period of the sign of Leo you're born in, but the message is go with the flow. Let go, let God. If change comes to you, embrace it. Because what we resist persists, and we don't want that anxiety. It can bring anxiety just because it's such a high vibratory rate, frequency of Uranus, but Uranus will never change things that's not needed to be changed. It's actually doing you a huge favor. So while it's transiting for these oncoming years, it's still going to be there, probably 7 to 8 years, it's doing you a good deed. So it can kick you off where you've been maybe too comfortable so that you can expand and grow and start this lift of your talents and skills and bring new things to the forefront. So absolutely that is a very deep and important message to you, but you'll find more of it if you listen to your moon or rising sign reading. And I say that only because this blessing that you're having here with Jupiter and Saturn, we know for you is in your relationship area. But if you listen to your moon sign reading, these two planets are going to show up elsewhere. And that will also show the other extended aspect of your life growing and expanding, which you don't want to miss out on. And then your rising sign chart reading will show how you're going to be expressing that out to the world. And of course, these two planets, which is your ace right now, will also show up in a different area. So you got 3 readings with 3 major things taking place in 2021 for you. And I wish you the best. We'll catch up again next month to see what is happening and taking place there. So in the meanwhile, have a good